So welcome back to DC Silver Age Story Time, and once again we're going back to the Golden Age with Spectre. This was a request from one of my subscribers, and I will do requests if I have the books. If it's for a character that I simply don't have, then not much I can do about that. But this is from More Fun Comics 52, which would be 3 comics before Dr. Fate was first introduced. Published in February 1940, and it is the first appearance of Spectre and his introduction. So here is the cover, and there is the first look at the Spectre, created by Jerry Siegel, and the art is by Bernard Baily. Dr. Fate never got at least not initially. It wasn't until later that he got an origin story, and I cannot get to the first page. Okay, there we go. All right, so, Bernard Baily's art definitely improved over time, but it's pretty crude here at the beginning. So, early evening within the boarding house room, Jim Corrigan, hard-boiled detective, shares with Wayne Grant, fellow detective and close friend. So he's talking about apparently Jim Corrigan is getting married quite soon, and says love finds Jim Corrigan. Why, beautiful and wealthy young socialite like Clarice Winston should want to announce her engagement tonight to a lug like you is beyond me. Search me either. I'm the luckiest mug on earth, or have it all over Clark Gable. So he discovers from this one of his informants that a warehouse is being robbed. They're going to take a fortune in furs. I'll get something for this, for telling you this, won't I? Yes, the tip of my foot. Remember, let me know whenever you get this kind of information. So he basically says, bring me more information, I'll kick you. Wow. That's sweet talker. So he goes out there to face off against these criminals. Gat Benson's men, this is my luck. And he just goes in there, fists swinging, and starts attacking them. There he is, punching guys out. So he's quite a two-fisted fighter. Meanwhile, his fiancée is saying, I wonder what's keeping Jim. The nerve of him. I wish you'd reconsider marrying this bore. I love Jim, and nothing can alter that. But if he doesn't show up, I'm going to lose my temper. So she's calling his friend, and he's saying, he seems surprised. But Jim Corrigan just had to fight crime. So he finally shows up. And this is, I guess this is the 1940s. She says, why did you stop? Because it's high time I told you a thing or two. Why a real lady like you should be interested in a mug like me is beyond me. But one thing is certain, there's going to be one boss in our family, and that's me. And so she's inspired by that to kiss him, because nothing like a little bullying and chauvinism. Jim Corrigan, you're a tyrant, a bully, and a conceited fool, but I love you, just as long as you love me. All right, so Gat Benson or whatever shows up. Yeah, Gat Benson, and they bring him out to this abandoned shack or whatever. Knock him out and throw him in a barrel. Then they fill it with cement, which, he's probably dead already at that point. Get some more men and roll this thing onto the wharf. So they toss it into the water. Gosh, what a way to die. And that's what happens to coppers who think they can outsmart Gat Benson. So down he goes, and then floats out. Where am I? Ahead, a patch of light. Up towards the streaming light ahead streaks Jim figure at infinite speed. And he goes up into heaven. Only one thing can explain this experience. I'm dead. So a voice says, listen, Jim Corrigan, and you will learn. Your mission on Earth is unfinished. You shall remain earthbound, battling crime on your world with supernatural powers until all vestiges of it are gone. So I guess he has to stay until there's no more crime. Seems like quite a challenge. But I don't want to return to Earth. I want eternal peace. But his protests are unanswered. Down streaks Jim to a sharp conclusion. A sharp concussion. Hurtling stars, then an enfolding darkness. I'm seated at the bottom of the river, and yet I don't drown. Yep. So he discovers that he can fly up and float in the air. Good grief! I had merely to mentally will this, and it happens. I could scarcely believe this, but there below me is my shadow. The shadow, it's gone. And then as Jim wills it, the shadow reappears. It's back. There's no doubt about it. I can make myself invisible at will. Apparently not to the reader, though. Suddenly, a scream. It's Clarice in the hands of those deadly killers. On to the wharf catapults Jim's streaking figure, then walks directly through the warehouse wall and out of view. So we don't actually get to see the Spectre yet. Jim Corrigan certainly seems to have Spectre-like powers, but the actual Spectre, which he will become, has not happened yet. We've not gotten to see it. So it's nice that we're actually getting an intro rather than with Dr. Fate, where he just is. But this is the introduction, the first story featuring the Spectre from February 1940.